Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is going to be the ENTP, the reasons why you are struggling and how to overcome it. So this is a series. For those of you who are new to this series, go to my playlist. You will see this very prominent playlist that is specifically targeting each MBTI type. What are the 3 most common struggles, the reason why they're stuck, and how to overcome it. So why I'm passionate about doing such a video is also because I have been indulging and learned a lot from the space, YouTube, podcasts, Spotify, listening to a lot of this MBTI, Myers-Briggs personalities, and I really learned a lot. But at the same time, I also noticed that there is this gap out there in terms of content. There isn't really a lot of focus on what are their struggles and what can we do to be aware and to help them. And especially for MBTI types who are in the pursuit of self-development, of course these videos are for you. And so today's video is going to be the ENTP. If you know ENTP and you're not ENTP, I hope that you will share it, because I want to talk about why they have such loop that's going on with them that keep them stuck and why they are not realizing their potential. And so I also take these references from not just C.S. Joseph, but a lot of the other experts out there talking about MBTI types. I also have experience coaching people in terms of their MBTI type. And so for ENTPs, although I don't know many ENTPs, the few that I know really give me a lot of insights about how they work and how they actually develop themselves. And I've seen those that really have unlocked their potential and become the kind of person that they desire to be. And so this is the whole point of making this video. So ENTPs, you are sharp, spontaneous, and impossible to ignore. You are essentially the firecracker in the room. You have a ton of ideas. Your mouth works like a shotgun, and basically you are the spark in the room. And because you think out loud and you love challenging the norm, some people might find you extremely sexy and provocative, but not always a good thing. You energize every room that you enter. But behind all this brilliance and spark of ideas, let's be honest, you're probably struggling more than you know. There's always a price to pay for being a debater, for being that insightful, for being able to see what people want, and being able to seek the truth because of your cognitive function. There is a price to pay. So I've noted 3 main reasons on the reason why ENTP struggles or why they're stuck. So the first reason is that you start everything but you rarely finished. I think this is like a broken record for the ENP, whether ENTP, ENFP, because you have introverted sensing inferior. That means routine, having a system to follow, and having long-term maintenance is what is not of interest to you. It is essentially your weakness. So you love starting new things and novelty because it is just who you are. Your cognitive function is extroverted intuition. Plus, you have introverted thinking, so you're always seeking the truth, not always being satisfied with what's presented in front of you, and you are seeking for it. And at the same time, you could see all the possibilities and the patterns and the connection that most people can't. And so you often are very ahead compared to everybody else. But because you have this curiosity all the time, you are always distracted. So you just keep starting new things. The moment things gets boring, when it gets tough, when it gets too emotional, you will just jump onto the new thing. So it just leaves behind a graveyard full of your brilliant ideas, but nothing is being scaled, nothing is being actualized, and there is no impact. Yeah, but the ENTPs will debate with me saying that there are some ENTPs who are brilliant out there. They just need to have the idea, and then they have hire the right people, the SCJs or the SFJs to execute it for them, and that's it. But it's not always the case. And this advice is really for the ENTPs who are into unstucking themselves, right? So until that happens, there's a reason why you have your underdeveloped cognitive function in your stack for you to develop it, for you to use it. So going back to your cognitive function, you just need to recognize the loop that you have when it comes to your extroverted intuition and your introverted thinking. When it goes in this loop and you don't tap into how other people feel, which is your child function, extroverted feeling, and of course checking in with how other people feel about certain things, that's quite important. That's going to be covered in reason 2. And then introverted sensing on the long-term maintenance. How do you sustain it long enough for it to be successful? You will always be chasing highs and you will ditch consistency. And this is the reason why it keeps you from scaling what is impactful. Or in a more brutal way, it is keeping you from scaling your own impact. So what are some signs? First, it's very obvious. If you go to any ENTP's laptop or computer, you will see that they have 100 tabs open because that's how it works. You don't have to go to the computer to do this. It's how they talk. It's what's in their mind. It's a beautiful mess, but to a lot of people, other people who appreciate this type, it can be pretty overwhelming. When you talk, because it's all over the place, I think ENTPs who do not know, who don't have a lot of self-awareness and they are very informative, they kind of like go off tangent all the time. Some people, they really miss opportunities to influence, convince, or build connection with some people who just don't know how to resonate or appreciate when you're being super informative. So another sign is you like people up with ideas. People love having you around because of your ability to generate new ideas and even a great problem solver. But people stop trusting you to deliver. And you self-sabotage yourself by saying, whenever you start a new project and then you reach a point where it becomes boring, you're like, this is not worth it, it's boring, it's not worth my time, and then you ditch. So this is very flaky. And your flakiness in this sense doesn't do justice to your brilliant ideas. So an advice that I would give ENTPs and what I've seen work on ENTPs is that because they can, although they're extrovert, it doesn't mean that they're like the social butterfly. They are the most expressive and they are out there to let everybody know everything about them. So one thing that you can notice about ENTPs is because they are subconscious and their shadow in the 4 sides of the mind, they are introverted. So their subconscious is ISFJ and their shadow is INTJ. If they are not comfortable, they can be in situations where they don't share. So I like to challenge the ENTPs by sharing to the world, to the people that they care about especially, about that one idea or project that they're going to finish. And they're going to give themselves the deadline and they're going to tell everybody else that this is their deadline so that they put themselves accountable and people are there to watch it. And this forces them and it forces their child, extroverted feeling, to care about how other people feel about them. And I think this is definitely going to help the ENTPs to be more accountable and not flake so easily with the things that they have started. It's to publicly commit to something, and especially if that project is going to serve other people, is going to, in a way, help them to tap into their extroverted feeling. Let's say it's a project that will help people to become better. It's a system that can help people become more productive or give people more jobs for the humanity, right? I think with this kind of purpose, it's going to make the ENTP stick to it more. And so knowing what kind of project to start and sticking to what project, it really comes down to your purpose, and that's going to be very important for ENTPs. They may not really know all the time, unfortunately, because they have FI trickster, so they don't know about their own moral values. It can help people a lot, and their brilliant ideas are actually brilliant for a specific reason, but this is if they are disciplined enough to actualize it. So finishing is the freedom. Following through builds your legacy. Introverted sensing. Your inferior function, the one that you're running away from, is what you need to tap into in order for you to have legacy. Remember, in your shadow ENTPs, you are very worried and anxious about your future. So if you want to have lasting impact and a legacy, you have to look into this. Reason number 2, you talk fast but process slowly or not at all. Do you guys realize, or do you ENTPs realize, that you are talking all the time, making jokes and making smart remarks and debating with people because you kind of feel uncomfortable and you don't like the silence that fills the room? Sometimes that silence allows you to be in the present moment, to feel what is happening. But because you mask all of this with your intellect and your fast talking, you kind of take away the whole intention and the purpose of that situation. And so ENTPs, if you're one of those that speaks really fast and trying to confuse people, don't ever think that this is charisma, because oftentimes it is not. Because beneath all your jokes, debates, and your intellectualizing things, your mental agility is an emotional landscape you rarely sit in long enough for you to truly understand and develop your extroverted feeling, which is your child function. So again, because of this function, you know how to charm people and make people feel good in the room. But because you use your jokes, you speak really fast, you make witty remarks, it becomes a situation where you cannot be truly authentic with yourself, because you have introverted feeling in your trickster function, in your shadow. And so your moral compass is kind of not there. It's your blind spot. So you don't know whether you feel good about it when people are laughing at your jokes, and if you're genuine about doing it. So often, all of this fast talking is just performative. You're just performing, right? And people think it's confident, but deep down inside, you are actually very lost or uncertain. So some signs: you avoid silence because it feels awkward. So you will obviously open your mouth. You mask confidence with charisma, and you intellectualize everything, including heartbreak, rejection, and any burnt out. You just intellectualize it to the point that you have no moral values or any feeling towards it. So I think one thing that ENTPs can do to help with this situation, you cannot erase it completely, let's be honest, is try journaling, voice memoing yourself and hear yourself out. And I've seen ENTPs who are on YouTube, they dedicate themselves to talking about a topic that they're very passionate about. And because they are talking to themselves and they're talking to the audience using the camera, they practice self-reflection, they practice their articulation, and then they watch back their videos because they have to edit it. And this self-review allows them to do reflection about how they come off. And this really, I've seen some of the most developed ENTPs who are really healthy, and they know how they come off to people, and they don't use their fast talking and their witty debates and jokes, right? They are really who they are, and they know whether they feel good about it. And so let's say it's very far-fetched for you to do videos. I think journaling is really helping you to vomit out everything that's going on the inside and then do some reflection. And so while you're doing the reflection, I think the question that I will ask would be, what am I actually feeling beneath this excitement or frustration? Instead of intellectualizing it. So clarity isn't found at fast talking. It is found by listening inwards. So self-reflection is key for ENTPs. And the last reason why ENTPs are stuck is because they confuse freedom with avoidance. Now let's talk about freedom, which is ENTP's favorite word. They hate limits, they hate labels, they hate rules. Anything that puts them in a box, they are just allergic to it. But the deeper truth is, you often run from accountability and you call it freedom. So you just ditch and you become flaky. So this goes back to reason number 1. Because of introverted sensing inferior. You crave autonomy all the time to the point that all the connections that you have are just shallow, and it's just unfinished potential, which is not what you want, obviously. So sometimes when you are avoiding things, it can be dressed up as a point of fear. You are actually fearing to want something long enough to stick through it and persevere and be loyal to it. But little that you know, your foresight to the mind, your potential side is the ISFJ. It is one of the most steady, stable, loyal types. So there is that within you. It's just a matter of you recognizing and unlocking it. So some signs that you are essentially stuck with this is you tend to sabotage stable jobs when things get routine, mundane, there's not a lot of chaos, you just sabotage it. It can be relationships, it can be routines that are working well, like example, a fitness program that you've been following through for 8 weeks and then you decide to F it up. You jump from one opportunity to another, so the syndrome of the grass is greener on the other side. And then you ghost yourself before others can. So I think ENTP should redefine freedom, absolutely. It's not the absence of structure, it's really the power to commit to that one thing and seeing it through, because that's how you actualize things. What's the point of manifestation if it's all just a bunch of visualization that doesn't come true? And I think for ENTPs, it's all about their purpose and finding what is that one thing that matters the most to them and being able to stick it through. This really is going to test the discipline of the ENTPs, because a lot of things to them, it's about caging them, and especially when they don't feel seen, heard, or understood. I think ENTPs, out of all, because they are very flaky, they need someone very stable along their side to believe in them, to have faith in them, and that's how they're going to grow their introverted sensing inferior. So is to really commit to just that one thing, not many things, just that one thing, and let it ground you instead of let it cage you. I think that's the whole point. Anyways, ENTPs, you're not a mess, you are not lazy, and you are definitely not too much. You are just overflowing with potential that's waiting to be contained, refined, and actualized. So I think some key points that I really want to highlight for ENTPs is to finish something even though it's not perfect, even though when it's boring. I think that's the time that you must be self-aware enough to know that it is testing you, and that is your opportunity to grow your cognitive function that are not very developed. It's the discipline, is the way to see it through. Also to sit with your feelings. Even if they don't make sense to you right away, you don't have to intellectualize everything. So I think that's the poison that, or the antidote that the ENTPs would have, right? Is that because they have introverted thinking as their parent function, second function, that means that in their shadow, they have extroverted thinking as their critique. This means that they're very critical about what is presented to them. Even whatever I'm saying right now, they're probably being skeptical about what I'm saying because they think that they are the smartest. Similarly to ISTPs, they walk around being worried that they are surrounded by stupid people. I think ENTPs, they walk around thinking that they are right all the time. But that is far from the truth. There's a reason why you're stuck. And so sometimes recognizing that you're not the smartest one is already the first step in the right direction, especially when you're not very happy with what you have right now. So just know that if freedom is your favorite word, is your ultimate goal, your freedom only gets stronger when your foundation is stable. Anyways, ENTPs, let me know what you think. Leave comments below. Let me know if you are struggling with any of this. How did you overcome it? I am really curious to learn, and this will help other ENTPs too, especially if you share your thoughts below. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.